All right, happy Sunday, guys. Can you guys hear me? Let me get some feedback in the somewhere. You guys can hear me, okay?
Yep.
All right, cool, awesome. So it's gonna be a quick one today. I'm gonna basically look at a lot of the names that we looked at last week. A lot of the setups are still in play, thankfully, right? And then we had a pretty decent week last week. Some of these gaps were really unpredictable, but they worked in our favor. And then you can see during Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we kind of just went sideways and did a bunch of nothing. So I think that 3 days of consolidation is enough for a continuation move or for a strong move down, right? Either way. Looking at SPX, let me just bring over, where is my... so SPX is stuck in this small range here. If you look over to the left, this is a previous supply zone. Every time SPX touches this area, it sells off a little bit. We got a little bit of buying pressure that brought it up to this level here, but it rejected and then came back and retested it and rejected once more. So I think that's why we're struggling with it so far. As of the last couple of days, I think there's a continuation for it potentially, depending on what's going on in the market. Let me just take a quick look at the economic calendar. So there's a bunch of Fed speakers going on this week. Well, actually, no, they're done. They're done this week. There's not much going on this week. There's actually not a lot going on this week at all. Due to Thanksgiving weekend, I'm sure that there's going to be some elevated volatility. I would say Monday and maybe the first half of Tuesday. Typically during these short weeks, we do have heightened volatility, but in my experience, Thanksgiving is usually a bunch, or that week is usually a bunch of people sitting around waiting for some big action, but all the action really occurs on Monday, I would say. So I'd watch out for it tomorrow. For SPX, for the upside move, we wanted to break out above the high of Wednesday. Well, that is a very bold line. We wanted to break out over the high of Wednesday, entry at 45.21, which I believe may also be, it was a high of, so the high of Friday was 45.20. So we need above that 45.21 in order to get some real movement. And then still there might be a little bit of supply that we have to get into here at 45.41. There might be potential for this to touch 45.50 this week and then reject. Above 45.50, there's a small gap in volume. So if we do trade into these levels, I'd like to see a nice strong move up, and then maybe that strong move up on Monday, and maybe that Tuesday, Wednesday consolidation into potentially a continuation the next week. Otherwise, if we break down below this level here at 4,500, if we can't hold 4,500 for whatever reason, I'll be targeting the bottom of Monday's or Tuesday's candlestick as the immediate target, right? So 4,500 would be a good entry. Break, retest 4,500 from the downside. Will give us a good, nice play to the downside to 44.58. It's a nice 50 point move or 60 point move or 40 point move rather to the downside as the first target. Let's look at QQQ. QQQ right now, price is sitting on an island. This is either, this can go either way, right? Because you don't want price to just stay along this sideways action. It can easily, we're sitting at just about all-time high for QQQ, which is really incredible. Actually, no, is it on? Yeah, no way. I thought I was looking at a weekly chart for a second. All right. So we're sitting at the top of the cup for QQQ. So, this consolidation, same thing with SPX, it's expected due to the fact that the last time we were here in this area, we rejected here, came back, retested it, fell hard. We broke above this pivot here, so we're above that area now, which is great. And right now we're just kind of trading alongside these two levels. I don't want anybody to get caught in the chop. So I would say that the ideal entry for the upside would be break above Wednesday's high at 387.75 would be the ideal entry for calls. Obviously you want to get in low and then let it trade up into that level, or you want to take your calls once it breaks and retest that level. But I just don't want anybody to get chopped up here. It's very difficult unless you're scalping. It's very difficult to make money in candlestick formation like this, just like sideways action, right? Now, if you look at it on like the 15-minute chart, let me just extend this a little bit. If you look at it on the 15-minute chart, there's opportunity to make money in some of these moves, right? Where you see these 4 back-to-back green candles, 4 back-to-back green candles, 7 or 8 red candles going down. There's potential for all this to give money, but you have to like really identify the move, see the move, pull out, zoom in and out of different time frames in order to identify it. And it really takes a lot of skill to make money and not lose money essentially in some of these choppy days, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, I would just let the range break to the upside if you want to take calls. For puts, I think it would be safe to take an entry at the break of the open of Thursday at 384.48, or sorry, 384.84. And then from there, you can just target these lows, right? I would target this one and this one to begin with, right? That would be what I expect. If you want to take a risky entry for calls, you can take it above Thursday's high. And when I say risky entry, I mean, you understand that it might reject at the wick here, at the top of this wick. Anywhere within this wick, it might find some sellers. Anywhere within this red candle, you might find some sellers, but you might also get lucky and be able to catch the top of the range here. So from 386.19 up to 387.75, that's a nice move there, depending on which contract you choose. So there's your range. I mean, I don't know. I think SPX, or rather ES, is just within Friday's candlestick still. Just take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, we're just within the middle of the range of Friday's candlestick. So this can go either way, depending on, obviously if there's nothing major that brings the market up or down tomorrow, we're going to open up right within this range. And then you got your risky entries. This tight range here will be your risky entry. And then the better entries for a clear move will be the outside ones for QQQ. So got XLE. XLE, last week, we gapped up to 200, rejected it, and tried it again, right? So that 200 is going to be crucial. 200 sitting right here. Let me just change the color of it so you can see it on this chart. My background on this chart is very dark. I'm going to go ahead and make the 200 yellow for now. So price opened up, worked its way into that, jumped into that 200-day moving average, traded alongside it 2 days in a row, rejected, and then bounced and closed right underneath it. So the 200 is going to be crucial for XLE. Above 200, we got the 20-day, which I believe is inconsequential. And then if we can't break through that 200-day moving average, I would just target the low of Friday and the low of Thursday as your previous targets for XLE. So got XLF. XLF has been on a tear ever since it kind of broke down below this wedge. Kind of broke down, made a full move to the downside. So like, when you see a full move, it's like the first leg, the pullback, and then the continuation. Right, that's your full move. That's the way the stocks move, right? And then like if I run a fib on this, I'm just gonna run a fib from here to here, and you can see that it always pulls to a key Fibonacci level before it continues to move. So fibs work. And if you miss the first move, there's always another move that follows it, right? And then same thing to the upside, right? We got this move. It pulled back, slight pullback, found some confluence on that 50-day moving average, and continuation, right? So strong move out of XLE. XLE is currently trading at $35. And now we just have to clear some of these pivots here, right? And that's it. I mean, I see a continuation. If this is showing strength, especially on red days, then I think there's a potential for this to continue into $35, $50, and $36 eventually. So XLF rather, it might be a slow mover. So if you want, you can move over to JPM or BAC in order to find you're gonna find the same setup, and so you can get a better move out of like JPM, BAC, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, right? Look at Google. And I'm just going to blow through these. Some of these are some of the plays that I called out last week, so I just want to take a quick look at them. We did get a nice upside move into the 50-day, broke above, retested, came back, retested, bounced, and then pulled back. So again, this is the tight range that we found in the rest of the market, right? So we're going to see that all over the place. For Google, I want to see it break above 136.50 in order to continue the move to the upside. Otherwise, if it breaks down below the 50, I'm targeting that 100-day moving average down here. So those would be my entries, either the breaking above 136.50, I'm gonna go ahead and set my alert, and I'm gonna go ahead and set an alert as well on the 50-day, which is just around here, so that we know range break. Okay, go right. AMD. AMD showed a little bit more strength than the rest of the market. It did pull back, so we had an inside bar on Monday from Friday's price action, bounced and tested the previous pivot that we targeted here at 122.12. Found some selling pressure, brought it back down, and buyers are still here, very clearly in control. So I think that the best entry, risky entry would be the break of Friday's high, right? Break of Friday's high at 121.49. You could trade that into 122, or you could just take the break of 122, and that'll give us a target of, realistically, I want to see it get into that 124.24 level first, and then from there we can touch 125, and then 125.85 will be final target. Now, if we do break down, let me go ahead and I'm going to set the risky entry there. That first entry is your risky entry for AMD. If you see NVIDIA, LRCX, TSM, Apple, QQQ all ripping, and you see AMD ripping, then it's safe, right? Then this entry becomes safe. But if you see NVIDIA is lagging, TSM is lagging, Apple's kind of going sideways. If you see AMD doing it by itself, I wouldn't jump into it just yet. I would look for some confluence somewhere else. I would look for strength in a different part of the market, right? In a different part of the tech market, to back up the move that's occurring with AMD. AMD sometimes opens up really, really strong and then fails. Sometimes it goes on its own, but it's very rare, right? But when the market does have strength, you see this looks much better than a lot of these tech charts. So I marked your risky entries with a dashed line, so you have some levels to play with there. Next one is Costco. Costco gave us a nice rip to the upside, and then a bunch of sellers stepped in. I'm going to take Costco off my chart for now. I don't really like it. Let's look at TSM. TSM, again, that same very, very tight range, right? We formed between this candlestick on Tuesday and this candlestick on Wednesday. We have a very strong move to the upside, and now we just have to break out of that range in order to make some continuation strength move, right? Let's see. This will be. I don't even want to label it a risky entry. I think that's the range break. That would be a range break there. I would label this one a little bit risky to the upside, just because we still have some wick there. There's a little bit of wick that may cause some sell pressure. This is the safest entry here. I would say it's for calls at $100.70, and then you could just target that 101.76, right? Nice and simple. It does look very nice. It looks like strong move, pullback, continuation move, pullback, potential continuation move, or chop around. It really depends on what the rest of the market wants to do. But if the market wants to go up, the move is there for TSM. I like TSM for this week. I'm gonna label this. Let's do a different color. I like AMD too, so let's do that same thing. All right, Netflix. Netflix gave us the move from a couple of weeks out. Completed the move, right? And now we just continued, right? We were just ripping through, broke this pivot here, and now we're targeting that 485 for Netflix. So I think that Netflix has strength. Even on a red day, you see a bunch of buyers stepped in and brought the price back up on the bottom of this wick. So if we get a continuation move here, we can target 475, and then above 475, we got 485. Netflix is a pretty fast mover, so you don't gotta. You can do $5 increments, $10 increments. I like playing Netflix in 10s and 15s. So what that means is if I'm at 465, I'm going to play the 480s. If I'm at 475, I'm going to play the 490s. I just play $15 out of the money. Netflix is expensive. Also, you could just play it on like a Wednesday, and it gets pretty cheap. So I like Netflix to the upside. If you want to take Netflix to the downside, that'll be your entry. The break of the low of day would be your entry for Netflix. And you can target. You got some sequential lows here. You got a nice pivot machine gun that can really form if Netflix gets some bad news, right? But I don't see that happening. I see a continuation to the upside. But I do want to give you your targets to the downside for Netflix. Starbucks gave us, we had the consolidation. Inside bar on Monday, rip Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Found some resistance at our previous level here, right where we were targeting. And rejected pretty hard, right? So Starbucks looks like it wants to go down more. I'm gonna set my target, my entry at the low of that day. I'm gonna set my first target. I really should use volume profiles here, but I'm gonna set my first target at 104.48. I have a feeling there's something in between these two red lines. Let me get rid of this. I have a feeling there's a level between these two red lines at 105. I'm gonna go ahead and mark it because I don't want to be blind in this. Just mark it right here. You can set these three as your target, and if Starbucks gets really froggy, then it's at the bottom of that day as bottom of Monday as the final target. Now, if we do continue to the upside, I would take a risky entry at about 50%. You see where that little green line is on that candlestick? That's about 50% of the move to the downside. That's also where all the volume is. That's my point of control for the day. So I would take my very risky entry at that level. Go ahead and just label that risky entry at that level. And then I would target the high of day as my target for the day if I'm day trading. And if I'm swinging, then I would go ahead and target. You got 109.23. I will go ahead and just put one right in between the two of those right there. Let's see. Yeah, and then that lines up. This lines up pretty well with. There's the open of this day, but also got some sell pressure there. So very interesting setup for Starbucks. I like it better to the downside, but if we do have upside, you want to take a good entry here at the 50% mark to target the pullback of the entire move, and then from there we got some upside targets for you. I like Starbucks this week. Walmart. I would like for Walmart to do this. I would like for Walmart to touch that 200-day moving average before it does anything else. Right now, where it's sitting at a bunch of potential demand zone here, right? You see this big wick, and then inside bar, break to the upside, inside bar, break, like strong move, right? This is just a very strong move out of this wick right here. And so I want to see if there's some buyers still active here. I'm not gonna take any play until I see what it does in this area here, right? I saw buyers there before. I want to see if there's buyers still present in that area. Friday's little doji at the bottom, little wick at the bottom of this isn't enough for me. I need to see more. So I think it's going to go down and test that 200-day moving average. If you like Walmart, I think that's a good spot to buy it at 150 or so, 152 or so. It was just at 170 a couple days ago, right? So let's see if it can form kind of a reversal pattern on that 200, and then maybe from there we make some money. For right now, I'm going to take it off. Amazon. Amazon is showing continued strength. It did pull back hard on Wednesday. Right. We got the inside there. We got the gap up. We had the pullback. A bunch of sellers taking profit from the move up, right? And we got a nice little bounce on Thursday. Continuation on Friday. Let's see. Now this is a key area. We got the cup and handle here. We have a very, very strong pivot that I think is the end of this move is right there at 157. So I want to see a continuation. Now I'm going to go ahead and let me draw a trend-based fib into the support level here. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that line once more just to see. Whoa! Sorry about that. I know that just killed somebody's eyes. Oh no, I'm making it worse. Yeah, so let's go ahead and sorry, that killed my eyes, and I have whatever this mode is called. I have night shift on, and still demolished me completely. Let's go with that. All right. So I like Amazon for a continuation. I don't know if we're going to get it this week. It is showing a lot of strength, so it's possible. Let's see. I just want to see pivot. See if my pivot shows up on this fib. Yeah, it does. Kind of, right? This area here. So trend-based fib, these are going to be your support, your resistance levels that hopefully end up being support as well. So you can go ahead and just play those levels for Amazon. I like Amazon for this week. Cat. Cat continued made a strong move, broke above the 200-day the way that we predicted, broke through the levels, made a new high for the week. So we'll target that 50-day moving average. Above the high of week, 50-day moving average is what we're looking for with Cat. Right? And that's it. And I wouldn't go too short. I mean, you can, if you want to, break down below low of day. I would target the previous lows, the previous day's low, and that's about it because you have the 200-day moving average sitting right there. Cat has a bunch of strength, even though the sector's weak. This stock is just, people are buying it. I guess I see the value in it. You know, Cat at $220 down here is a steal, I think. So people are buying it and they're bringing it up. So I like it for this week. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. CCJ making new highs. Let's see. This is all-time high for CCJ. CCJ is at a point where it can really accelerate. You know, we had that consolidation for 3 days, or 4 days rather. We had that one strong candlestick on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, it kind of chopped around. Thursday, kind of chopped around. Friday, it broke out and continued to move. So I think that CCJ is going to benefit from the market this week. Let me just go ahead and do it from here to here, see what I got. Yeah, I got some chop here, break above that 44.55-ish, which we're already above. Next target is 45.88, above that 47.50 for CCJ. I like it for this week. Lulu gave us a strong move, and then the move gave it right back. So Lulu's in an interesting spot. We got an inside bar. I want to see it get above Thursday's candlestick or below Thursday's candlestick in order to make some money on it. I don't want to. Lulu's it's not an easy one to trade. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of upside on Lulu. We've been here before, right? We've been up here at 480 before. So I think that all this consolidation here, strong move up, pull back, higher low, strong move up, pull back, maybe potentially a higher low here. I see a continuation. Maybe it pulls back a little bit deeper, but I see a continuation overall in the long term for Lulu. I'm not really in love with it right now. I'm going to take it off. I have my alerts on, so if you do see me call it, it's because my alerts triggered. X has been insufferable. We got into some X, I think they're 35 calls for this coming Friday. I've been waiting for X to break out above this level here at 34.55. It did it the day that I called it out. I believe it was on Tuesday. It started breaking through, but didn't quite give it. So let's see what happens this week. As long as X continues to hold this support level here, I think that it's safe, right? Hold that support level. I think that it's safe. It's slowly rising. Even if it pulls back down to 33.87 or so, like the bottom of this body of candles here, these red candles, then I think that from there it can continue with strength. But I just needed to wake up. So I'm going to keep watching it. I'm going to take it off this list for now. I'll keep watching it, but we are in the 35 calls for expiring this week. Datadog, inside bar, I believe, on a daily. Let's see. Yes, inside bar on a daily. Strong move out of this downtrend from earnings. Inside bar, double inside bar breakout that we saw last week. Continuation move. Nice little pullback inside bar this past week. So let's see. I am going to set my entry at the high of day and take the 2 previous days high as my target to the upside. And if you like it to the downside, which I do not recommend based on the strength in that sector, even with the Palo Alto earnings loss, I think that it's still showing plenty of strength, considerable to that loss. I think Zscaler is still showing strength. I think a bunch of these other companies within the sector will still continue to move up. But those are your levels for Datadog. We're still within the range of these couple of candles here. But I see some movement. I mean, look at this consolidation, strong move up, spike down. Now we have that consolidation again. So I wouldn't take it underneath any of these, or I wouldn't take it until it breaks one of these lines here, either the green or the red. And then you got your targets to the upside and downside. D-Dog might be good for like a 2-week swing, depending on which direction you think the move is going. I think it's going to go up. I'm going to draw a quick trend-based fib on this move so I can get some potential upside targets. I'm going to also quickly draw. So that 112 is just the high of day, I guess, is the entry for the continuation move. And then you got 114, you got 116.23 right next to my previous target, 116. Let me get rid of this for now. I want to see what I want is just in case we do retrace. I want to see where it'll land us. So yeah, we can land here at the 618 at $106. Underneath that, we got the 104.12, which is the 50% of the move. So that's what I'll be watching. And then the final target for this move will be 121.96. Right, we got the high here at 112. We have a previous pivot at 112.49. We have 115.95, and then we have 120 in the mix, and then we have 122 for D-Dog. I like D-Dog this week. Apple's been showing a bunch of strength. You know, market's been going up and down, sideways, but Apple's just been going up, right? Just up, 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 up. We almost formed an inside bar, but we did break down below the previous low by about 9 cents. But buyers brought it right back up, and you see a bunch of volume sitting. Let me zoom in on that. See a bunch of volume sitting where Apple closed. All the volume sitting right there. So if it holds that level, I see a continuation to the upside. I'm not going to chart it just because, you know, I'm not going to chart it. Just you're going to look for high of day on Friday, high of day of Thursday, and then above that you got 192 for Apple. DKS. Let's see. I was looking for a break of this trend line, which we got on Tuesday. It ripped, it found previous resistance, pulled back, and then retested it, and it made a new high for the week. So I'm targeting that 100-day moving average above, and we're in good seasonality for DKS as well. This is I'm gonna sound crazy, but it's Dick's season. Above that, we got that 100-day moving average, and then we got that 122.70. We're getting that gap fill that I've been talking about for months. Finally, you know, slowly but surely, working our way in that direction, right? But if I just put my foot in my mouth, then we're going to take the short entry at the low of day for DKS. If for whatever reason, you know, something comes out in the retail sector or whatever happens and this thing pulls back strong, then we got some previous targets here for DKS. I like it for this week. I'm going to keep it on our chart. NVIDIA, good consolidation. NVIDIA is still in the danger zone. I think it needs to get above all this supply that's here. I wouldn't touch it underneath 500 for the upside. And I really don't want to short NVIDIA. So I'm just gonna call it calls, and that's it. I really do not want to short NVIDIA. I don't think that it's set up for a short right now. I leave my trend-based fib here. Just leave it because it's working. Above that 500, we got clear skies. I would call it 510, 520, 530 for the next couple of weeks, for a month out. You know, either that or we consolidate and let the 50 catch up, or we go down straight to the 50, depending on what it is. But even if we rip down, I'm not going short NVIDIA. Boeing. I liked Boeing here when we last discussed it. I had my levels marked. It gapped right into one of my levels. And then from there, continue to gap into the 200-day moving average. Right now, it's sitting next to the 200-day moving average. I think that is a continuation this week. Break above Friday, we go for Wednesday. Above Wednesday, we have a little bit of a pivot right here. And then above that, we have some volume right here. Those will be the targets for Boeing. There and there. 216 will be the final target for this move, in my opinion, before it pulls back and maybe retest that 200-day moving average once more. Now, if we do get a downside, I would think that it will probably be short-lived. Break below Friday's low, target Thursday's low. Underneath that, target Monday's low. For Boeing. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of nothing. I like it. I'll keep watching it for this week. Coinbase gave us a nice strong move. Let's see. Strong move. Let me get rid of this. Oh, that was when my long position didn't work. All right, so strong move up, pulled back, found some support. Continuation move, made a new high, pulled back, inside bar broke to the upside. So this is showing a lot of strength. Now what we want to see is, let me just get rid of some of these levels. Here we go. What we want to see is a break of Wednesday's high, and that's it. I wouldn't even touch it underneath Wednesday's high, personally. Above Wednesday's high at pretty much 100, break above 100, target 104. Where was it? 104. Right here, with all this volume is sitting at 104.45. Above that, we have all this volume here at 107.23. Well, you see me referring to volume. I'm looking at these little small green lines here. And then, so those are your targets to the upside. I would take coin below the break of Thursday's low, because clearly there's some buyers sitting here. You see all these lower shadows on these candlesticks. A lot of buyers here. So below Thursday's low, take it to Wednesday's low, take it to Tuesday's for Coinbase. I like it this week. I have just a few more. Duolingo, strong move up, pull back, continuation, maybe. Yeah. Above Friday, we can target Wednesday. That seems to be the theme. Above Friday, we target Wednesday. Seems to be the theme for the week. But again, we have a very volatile week with short trading week, followed by like short trading week with a majority of the volume occurring at the beginning of the week, and I'll put a 50%-ish right there, and I think strong volume at the beginning of the week, and then everybody goes on on holiday towards the end of the week. So let's see. I wouldn't expect too much, but who knows? I've been wrong plenty. Shopify's setup is amazing. I think it's very, very beautiful. I had my eye last week, and it continues to have a very nice setup target here, and then we have that 71.42. I think there's something else over here. You know what? We can just combine these two and call it 7. Just call it 7. I do like this for a continuation move to the upside. Strong all green candles pretty much all week, even though it gave us that inside bar on Thursday, still green. But if for whatever reason we fail, I want to take out Thursday's low, and we have a nice little pivot machine gun potential to the downside for Shopify if we get failure or we get some market non-participation for Shop. So I do like it. Let's keep it on the chart. Snowflake. Last time we discussed it, it was sitting underneath the 200-day moving average. Now it's currently sitting above the 200-day moving average, forming an inside bar out of a strong move down. So do we break down and target, or sorry, that's the 100-day. My 200 is the yellow one. Do we break down the 100-day and target the 200, which seems like it's very, very easy to do? Underneath that, we got, you know what, let me go ahead and do us all a favor. Okay. Break down below Thursday and give us the 100-day and then the 50-day, or sorry, the 200-day and then the 50-day? Or do we break above Friday, same setup as the rest of the market, break above Friday, target Wednesday? And I'll give you two targets from Wednesday. Right? Who knows? I think some of this pullback was due to the Palo Alto, since they're in the same sector, but Snow is holding where previous volume was at. We see these green lines here, so and it's above the 100-day moving average. So let's see what it can do. I think it can go up more. Let's see. Uber has just been showing absolute strength. We have an inside bar on Friday. I wish I would have seen this inside bar. I would have called it out for us to get into a play. Yeah, same exact high. So this is like a triple tap, right? Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, it's like a triple tap. Right? Rip, come back, consolidate, pull back hard, go sideways on it. I think that there's a nice move, right? I mean, even with the sell-off here, it went right back into that level and just went sideways on it all day. So I think there's definitely a move there for Uber. Uber is probably top of the list for this week, just based on that setup alone. That's very, very strong. Above 54, 51, we got 55, we got 56. 56 up here. And then if it does break down for whatever reason, just target the lows. Target your lows. I like to use previous days because it just like it's been there just a few days ago. Why wouldn't it go there again? Right. So they look really stretched out. It's because my candles are stretched. It's not that far. Just highs of previous high of day, you got 55 is a nice round number. Above that, you got 56. Precisely, you have 56.13, which is a previous pivot at some point in the past, right here. And previous lows. I like it. I'm going to keep watching it. Visa. Visa's moving with the financial sector right now, showing a lot of strength. This is also good seasonality for Visa. Visa, a lot of people are buying their Christmas gifts, and they're spending money that they don't have. So Visa's going to make that money. Maybe not right now. They'll make it in a few months when when the interest hits. Visa above 250.06 with gusto 250.267 previous target. Above that we got 255. 255. And then if Visa breaks down, let's say there's a terrible catalyst in the credit markets. Never know. But if Visa breaks down, we got a low of day, we got a nice little pivot. Machine gun with a few lows that are just getting lower and lower as you go back in time. Right? Nice little pivot. I would stop it right there. 244 downside target. Ultimate downside target. I like Visa. Let's watch it. Zscaler. Another beautiful setup. So again, Palo Alto. Let's look at Palo Alto real quick so you guys, just in case nobody's familiar. We had that earnings report that ripped us back to the downside. It was on this day, on Wednesday, after hours. So obviously they beat, but I think that people were expecting way more. It ripped us way down. And so that's why Zscaler kind of looks the way it does. It got that pullback, but it's showing strength, right? Similar to D-Dog. It got a little bit of a pullback here on these 2 days, but it's showing that strength, just holding place. So that's very, very good very bullish for Zscaler. That means that if we get that bounce in Palo Alto, then we have a potential continuation move here into 194.21. I'm going to go ahead and just set my target above Friday. Friday was the high of the week. So, again, everything else was above Friday. Look for Wednesday. Zscaler is above Friday, and you got open sky into 194.21. 194.21, you got 195. Above that, you got 200. And then obviously below the lows of day, you got this little gap here, which you can target. But I don't see. I mean, there is a bunch of sell pressure sitting up here. You see all these upper shadows. So there is a little bit of sell pressure there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it just for your reference. But I don't expect there to be a lot of downside based on the fact that Palo Alto fell as hard as it did, and think this thing it's consolidated pretty much, waiting for Palo Alto to catch back up. So just want to take a look at Baba real quick. Nothing there for me. CVS, and then let's look at Disney and JP Morgan. Disney's kind of moving. I like Disney for continuation, but let's see. We're right at the gap too. We're trading right at the gap right now. Right. So something there. And let's look at JP Morgan. JP Morgan showing a bunch of strength above that 152.27. Or sorry, 153.27. We got 155.98 with a little bit of chop here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set an alert. Like this chart. Look at all those green candles. Just monster move out of this bounce here. So, all right, guys, that's all I have for you. That's all I have for you guys. Very, very, very fast. Thank you for your patience. Sorry for springing this on you so quickly. If there's anything I didn't cover that you want me to cover, go ahead and just drop it in the chat, and I'll send some charts up before tomorrow morning. I gotta go do bedtime. My daughter's way past her bedtime. She was at her grandparents' house over the weekend, and we're gonna do it again this week for Thanksgiving. So anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you. If you have anything else, go ahead and drop it, and I will add it to my list. Otherwise, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. Peace.